Discover the bone-chilling details behind the solved cold case of Mandy Stavik, a story that will leave you on the edge of your seat. The case of Mandy Stavik is a bone-chilling story that gripped the nation for nearly 30 years until it was finally solved in 2018. This young woman's brutal murder haunted her family, friends, and community for decades, and the twists and turns of the investigation will leave you on the edge of your seat. From DNA evidence to unlikely suspects, the story of Mandy Stavik's tragic death will stick with you long after the final verdict is reached. Get ready to delve into one of the most horrifying solved cold cases in recent history. Let's dive into the story. Do you know that the disappearance of Mandy Stavik is a haunting mystery that has captivated the attention of people for over 3 decades? On November 24, 1989, 18-year-old Mandy Stavik vanished while jogging near her home in Akron, Washington. Her disappearance shook the small town and sparked one of the largest manhunts in the state's history. It all started when Mandy had gone out for a jog, something she did regularly, but she never returned. Everyone started to panic in her absence. Her family immediately reported her missing, and a search party was formed immediately. Despite an extensive search effort, no trace of Mandy was found. As days turned into weeks, the community became increasingly desperate for answers. There was no evidence of Mandy Stavik's existence. Her disappearance sparked a massive search effort, with hundreds of volunteers combing the area for any sign of her. However, despite the extensive search, no trace of Mandy was ever found, and the case went cold. For years, her family and friends continued to hold out hope that she would be found alive. But as time passed, it became increasingly clear that this was unlikely. However, in 2017, a breakthrough in the case occurred when police announced that they had finally identified a suspect in Mandy's disappearance: Timothy Bass, a neighbor who lived near her at the time. Do you think Timothy Bass has any connection with this case? The police had initially become interested in Bass as a suspect due to his unusual behavior in the days and weeks following Mandy's disappearance. Moreover, he had reportedly been seen wearing clothing that was similar to what Mandy had been wearing on the day she went missing, and had also been seen driving a vehicle that matched the description of one that had been seen in the area around the time of her disappearance. The evidence against Bass is compelling. In addition to the DNA match, investigators have uncovered several other pieces of evidence that suggest that he was involved in the crime. Specifically, they were able to use DNA evidence that had been obtained from a cup that Bass had used at a party in 2013 to link him to DNA that had been found on a pair of panties that had been discovered near the site where Mandy's body was found. One of the key pieces of evidence is a pair of underwear found in Bass's truck that contained DNA matching Mandy's. How shocking, right? Viewers, it is not only one piece of evidence to capture. There is other new evidence in hand. Do you know that police were able to obtain a search warrant for Bass's property, where they discovered further evidence that they believed linked him to the crime? Specifically, they found a pair of shoes that appeared to match footprints that had been found near the site where Mandy's body was discovered, as well as a rope that appeared to match a rope that had been used to bind her. Bass was arrested in 2017 and charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and rape. He pleaded not guilty and has been awaiting trial ever since. Apart from this, the investigators have also interviewed several people who knew Bass at the time of the murder. These interviews have revealed the most shocking details. By hearing these, you all will be astonished. Timothy Bass had a history of inappropriate sexual behavior towards women, and he had made several disturbing comments about Mandy in the days leading up to her disappearance. This was not the only evidence. Later on, it was found that investigators have learned that Bass had access to a vehicle that was similar to the one seen by witnesses in the area around the time of Mandy's disappearance. The vehicle was described as a light-colored pickup truck with a canopy. While Bass has maintained his innocence, the evidence against him continues to mount. His trial has been postponed multiple times, most recently due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Evaded police for over a month during the COVID-19 pandemic by hiding in a rural area and avoiding contact with others. He reportedly lived off the land, using his survival skills to stay hidden and sustain himself. Bass also used his knowledge of the area to avoid detection, staying away from main roads and popular hiking trails. Pretty insane, right? Overall, the case of Mandy Stavik is a tragic reminder of the importance of perseverance and determination in solving cold cases. While it may take years or even decades to uncover the evidence needed to solve a crime, it is important to never give up hope and to continue to pursue justice for the victims and their families. Tell us your opinion on this cold case in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.